Let's talk about how we're gonna crush your goals in the new year. Yes, I said it. We're 100 days out from the new year, and I know you're ready to get prepared with me, and that's because you're not like most people who don't hang out with Amy Landino helping you build the ultimate plan for going after the life you want. Most people wait until January for a fresh slate. Why do they do that? I'll tell you, I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs. I am just like them, overcoming procrastination, perfectionism, going from starving in corporate paycheck to building multiple seven-figure media empires. How does that happen? Stop worrying about the start, stop worrying about the stop. Everybody puts off that new year revolution because there's a lot of, I gotta start doing this, I gotta stop doing this, gotta stop doing all this stuff. I'm gonna do it for a little while longer, okay? And I'll quit in January. And then there's the starting, I gotta do all these things, I gotta do all these things. I will start then. Because I'll be stopping all of these other things, I'll have plenty of time to do that. It's a lot on the mind. It's not good for you. There might be some starting and stopping that we've got to do, and I do help you plan for that. But the reason we're gonna talk about this now, the reason we're not gonna let the rest of this year go to waste is we're gonna make a simple shift that's not only going to help you with your to-do list, it's gonna help you with an abundance mindset. So I'm going to introduce you to something I'm calling keep season. If there's anything anyone knows me for, it's consistency. I basically just decided I will be successful because I just refuse to go away. If you've been following this channel for a long time, will you please tell me how long in the comments, because you know this to be true about me. Consistency and hitting milestones comes from that staying power. How do you have staying power? Well, you have to know what to keep. I was inspired to create this strategy because I was reading a great book by Marie Kondo called Spark Joy. And it's all about her magicalness of tidying up. And she says something in this book that I really got to think about. She said, when you tidy, you have to confront yourself, where when you clean, you have to confront nature. I thought that was really interesting, that in order for us to tidy, in order for us to start and stop and do all of these things, rearrange the objects and the commitments and the things of our life that are catching up to us and making us feel like we're drowning, we're really having to confront ourselves. But this is the key to it. She says, in order to be successful, it's not about focusing on what to discard, rather what you keep. What do you love? What makes you happy? What sparks joy? So in order for us to get to a good place at the beginning of the year about the things that must be started or the things that must stop, first we need to take some time to decide what's working. What do we love? What makes us happy? What are we going to keep? The first step is to define your desires. I can't tell you how to put your ladder against a building unless I know more about that building. Is it the right building? Are you excited about it? Is it the thing? You've got to know where we're headed so we can map our way there. Think of your desires like this. Define exact state if results equal success. What do you want? What does it actually look like for it to happen? I had the craziest desire come to life recently, and it all came from having total clarity. I made a vision board in 2024 where I had decided that I wanted to become a traditionally published author. Now, you know I've published a number of books to this point. My first book was Vlog Like a Boss, and then I went on to write Good Morning, Good Life and 365 Days of Good Morning, Good Life. Those books are my babies. I also have real babies, but those were my first babies. It was so crazy, and I loved the self-publishing process. But I thought, what an interesting new idea that I could partner with an amazing, aspirational publishing house on my next work. And so I cut out images of 2 logos. I couldn't decide which one. I thought I'd really love to work with Hay House. I've always admired all of the authors who have published with Hay House, and that would be like the dream. That would be the publisher for me. But if it wasn't Hay House, I also feel called to work with Penguin Random House, and I also respect their work. So I cut out both of those logos and I put them on my vision board. So for me, exact state would be traditional book deal with one of those 2 publishers. Sure enough, I don't know what the heck happened in the universe. One day I got an email, and the email in the subject line said, proposal from Hay House / Penguin Random House. And I was like, this is spam. unbelievable. But I checked and I checked and I checked and I checked and I made sure the person emailing me was on LinkedIn and they were a real person and all of this. And it turned out that Hay House did indeed want to work with me. And I don't know if you heard this recently, I did announce it on my Instagram. We're going to be republishing Good Morning Good Life with Hay House in 2026. New edition, revamped, expanded, the whole thing. It's gonna be awesome. But when I got on my first call with them, I said, amazing, great, let's work together, start to navigate that process. But I said, why did you put Penguin Random House in the subject line of the email? And they said, oh, well, in 2024, Penguin Random House acquired Hay House. What? I was like, well, you're welcome, because I put that on my vision board. It's actually crazy when you can articulate, illustrate, and say what exact state looks like. I don't think you need to be counting on any miracles like that happening. That's just crazy. But it does make it more likely that when something fits, is coming closer to you, that it does indeed have the opportunity to work out. So write them down. I literally every single day review my goals. Every single desire I have it written out in great detail, paragraphs, as if it is a book I wrote about my past life, what my future life looks like. I read it every single day when I get on the elliptical or the treadmill, depending on what gym day it is. It's the first thing I do. The first thing I do. I have so much clarity around what my desires are that I would know if something's happening today, or something comes in the mail, or an opportunity comes along, or somebody introduces themselves, I would be able to say, I need to keep that close because I know where I'm going and I need more of that, because more of that is what works. When you know where you're going, you know what you need to keep more of. So this is a critical first step. By the way, I suggest you come over to my Instagram if you are an entrepreneur and you want a better idea of how to do this, not just for your life, but in your business. And if you want to see what I'm keeping in my business, message me over there, send me a DM with Keep Season, and I'll send it over to you. No strings attached. Next, what you're going to do is inventory what you're carrying. I just want you to feel that word. What are you carrying? There's so much that you could put into that category. Feelings, commitments, different responsibilities that you have. Maybe it is a lot of things you intend to keep, but you do carry. You have to inventory what the state of affairs is. When I walk somebody through a time audit, what we figure out is what they're carrying in terms of how they spend their time. So we inventory how every minute of the day is spent. We're gonna inventory your life. You can look at how you spend your time. You can look at the things around your house. You can look at the normal routines that you have. You have to inventory what's happening so you know what to do next. Starting, stopping, certainly keeping. The more you have an idea of what you have to keep, and maybe you start to get an idea of what is going to be a start-stop moment for you, you want more space around what you have to keep. Because if you're keeping a lot and you still intend to carry it, you need to make sure you feel like you have the energy to. That's why I talk about energy management over time management. We all do want time freedom. Sure, it sounds great. But what we mostly mean with time freedom is that we are doing something that means something to us, which simply means we want to be in flow. We want to be focused and in flow. When I sit here on camera, this is something I keep for almost 20 years. I've been keeping this connection to you. Do I get a little huffy and puffy when I have to sit down to film? Of course I do. Who doesn't get a little huffy and puffy about something that may have been a massive passion of all time at one point and now is still a deep passion, but has also shown up as an occupation? It will carry job tendencies a lot of the time. Those characteristics will weigh down on me. But then, because I cleared the space of things that I decided not to keep, I sit here, I give you my best so that I have reason to keep it. We have to get an idea of what's going on all around in order to do that. As an example in your life, if you're having a hard time figuring out how you're going to take fitness more seriously, and you find it's difficult to get to your weekly yoga class, but you sit here and you're like, I love that yoga class. I want to keep it. Not only do I want to keep it, I want to level it up. I don't just want to go every once in a while. I want to go every single Saturday without miss. If we're keeping that, we need to start reverse engineering what's been taken from that. And now we can start to do that work. Because your next step is to start measuring ROI, or return on investment. When you do this in your day-to-day life, you're thinking about it in terms that are probably a bit different than money, depending on the situation. What I'm looking for is there return on investment for your energy? If it's that yoga class, you probably get so energized by A, keeping a promise to yourself and going, and B, doing something to challenge your body that tames your mind, making you a higher performer in so many other ways for your family, for your work, for anything. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have a grid with 2 columns. And this is gonna be great if you just keep this handy, then you can continue to add to it as you just go through life, especially during keep season. And things like that yoga class or other things that give you energy, they go on that side of the graph. Versus the other side, when you're going through something that's a grind and that makes you crazy and you never wanna do it and you hate doing it whenever you do it, but it probably is completely and totally potentially unnecessary, it can go under, drains my energy. Take inventory of it, measure ROI, come up with your reason to say, this is not a keeper, so we can plan your exit strategy to move on. The keepers should feel like compounding assets, paying off in results, energy, or both. This is going to be such a major moment for you in keep season. It's going to become very clear for your next step, which is to get aligned and select what is keep worthy. What are you holding on to? So much so that you went through this process and decided with intention, because it's not going to be a here or there potential maybe that you focus on it for the new year. It is now decided. You are sure. You know where you're going and you know what has worked in the past that you need to double down on. Because if it worked once, if you scale it up, it's going to be even better. So in alignment, saying, these are the things I'm keeping. Highlight, circle, schedule them in advance. I even sit down and, for instance, these videos that I know I'm gonna shoot, I will schedule them so far in advance on my calendar. Are they gonna move around? Of course, but I want it to be known by anyone that sees that calendar that you are going to see me sitting in front of the camera this amount, and we should be reverse engineering success around that. Schedule my blowout, make sure I have plenty of time to meditate before. When did we write the content to make sure it's good enough for this community? It has held its place. It is my intention, and I am not going back on that. I have not gone back on that since I started this channel 15 years ago. What are you keeping, and where are you cementing it in? And now I'm gonna give you a bonus step. I want you to lock in what you're keeping as non-negotiable. One of my non-negotiables is going to the gym 5 times a week. Sometimes I get some bonuses, but I don't worry about it. Non-negotiable for me is if I get to the gym 5 times, I did what I said I was going to do. And I don't have to stress out about it outside of that. If yours is 3, make it 3. It doesn't matter what the number is, but make it a standard, not a decision to make every day. When you have non-negotiables, when you know how you show up as the best version of you, life becomes very clear. Everyone around you starts to get a better idea of what you're actually like and what they need to know about you, and you step into that new phase of you. By the time the new year comes around, it's almost already fully formed because you've stepped into that reality already. The starting and the stopping has probably already fallen into place because you were so excited to discover something real that's already happening for you that you're just now deciding that is not just gonna be a flippant decision or a maybe. It is you all in. If you need a list to look at every day, then write it down in your notes. Remind yourself for a while what those non-negotiables are so that you don't go, wait, what did I say I was gonna do? Like I said, I review my desires, I review my goals, I review my routines every single day. I know them by heart, but I look at them every day so I remember that even if today's a hard day, I'm gonna keep pushing and I'm gonna keep doing the things that are the non-negotiable. The keepers are what stop you from starting from zero in January, and they will anchor you year after year. So we're gonna define and then inventory, measure, align, and then lock in. Anyone can quit or start something on January 1st. The real ones are the ones who have tried things and found what's worth keeping so they can continue to have that staying power and follow through. That's how you follow through on keep season like I do so that you can crush your goals in the new year. If you still need help staying focused to get things done, click here and I'll see you there.